6 months ago, Simone Biles turned in a dominant performance at the World Championships in her first international event since winning gold in Rio, claiming 4 medals, including a record 4th world all-around title. And today in Germany, the 22-year-old American makes her 2019 season debut. NBC Sports presents FIG World Cup Gymnastics. Today, it's the women's all-around from Stuttgart, Germany. As we take you inside the Porsche Arena, where the journey to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games has already begun for the top gymnasts in the world. Alongside Olympic gold medalist Tim Daggett, I'm Tanith White. The women will kick things off in the all-around competition on vault. The crowd there getting excited for the first gymnast, and a chance for these athletes to get comfortable in Stuttgart this weekend ahead of the World Championships, which will be held here in October. And as always, one of the most interesting aspects of a competitive World Cup event like this one, the mixture of veterans and newcomers. It's the latter in this case, Carolyn Pedro of Brazil.
And a very nice full twisting laid out Yurchenko, but it has a very low maximum score. Only 14.6 is what she can get. If she's absolutely perfect, she will not get that. In contrast, Simone Biles will start at a 16.0, which is the top of the field. It was nicely done, just a little slide back, a slight little hip angle in the air. So look how her hips are a little bent, legs are a little apart. Takes that one slide backwards. A good start, but she starts a little in the hole because of her difficulty level.
Carolyn making her World Cup debut this week in Stuttgart, 18 years old, so looking to build up that international experience. She was an Olympic alternate for the 2016 Brazilian team competing in Rio.
She actually helped Brazil earn that qualification, though, in the test event, where Team Brazil came in first place.
So 13.733 is the score that will lead things off now. And Simone Biles may be the headliner wherever she goes, but she's joined by a very familiar and incredibly accomplished presence competing alongside her in Stuttgart. Here is Russia's Aliya Mustafina, 7-time Olympic medalist, Russia's most decorated athlete at both the London and Rio Olympic Games across all sports.
All sports, exactly. And I'm very curious to see if she's going to do a double twist here. Recently, just a couple of weeks ago, she did just a full at the Russian Championships. No, she's going for it, and very nicely done. You know, you marvel at athletes that are really good when it matters most. The thing about Aliya is she's not really good. She's phenomenal when it matters most. Gets a nice bounce, little bit of form in the air as you see, but just one tiny little step. Now the women have a different rule. If your step is less than 1 meter, it is 1/10 of a point. More than 1 meter, 3/10. It's shoulder width for the men. Don't ask me, I don't know.
We listed some of Mustafina's great accomplishments. Now she can also add the title of mother to that list. Gave birth to her daughter in 2017, returning to competition less than a year later, and was back at the World Championships in 2018, winning a silver medal in the team event there with Russia. And 14.4 will be the score.
A good start. You know, execution-wise, she can do a little better than a 9.0 typically, but not bad at all.
Next up, a young woman from Japan who made her World Championship debut in 2018. Here is Hitomi Hatakeda, 18 years old. This is her second career World Cup event.
And she'll do a half a turn less than we just saw Aliya do. So that means it has a maximum score of a 15.0. She actually did quite well for Japan at the 2018 World Championships in qualifying. She was 16th in the all-around, which would be good enough to put her into the all-around finals, but there were 2 Japanese gymnasts that finished ahead of her. Of course, Mai Murakami, who ended up silver to Simone Biles was ahead, as was Asuka Teramoto. So she did not get the chance. It's a terrible rule. They should allow at least 3. I don't like it. Most people don't like it.
Especially when you've done the work, you've put the performance together, your ranking is clear. I'm sure a difficult position for Hitomi to be in there. And she is from a gymnastics family. Her father, Yoshiaki Hatakeda, is an Olympic medalist, a part of the '92 Japanese men's team, which won bronze in Barcelona. He went on to a coaching career, as did her mother, Yukiko, and 13.933. And there's no doubt there are a lot of supporters in the crowd this weekend for a local favorite, not to mention a world medalist. Here is Germany's Elisabeth Seitz.
See that 5.4 in the background right there. So it's a double twist. Same vault we saw from Aliyah Mustafina. And a very nice job. I think probably a little bit better than Aliyah's. We'll have to see if the judges agree with me. Often they don't.
Elisabeth, a 2-time Olympian, the reigning German all-around champion. There you see her next to the leader in Mustafina.
Pretty good bounce off the table. Nice form in the air. One step, I would say that might be a little more than a meter. Let's take a look from this angle. It's a 2/10 swing of a point, and that absolutely is. But overall, she had a better block than Aliyah Mustafina. A little bit more height. It's going to be close, though.
14.4, the number set by Mustafina. Elisabeth competed in both the London and Rio Games, finishing just off the podium in her signature event, the uneven bars, in 2016. And there it is, 14.5. And Elisabeth Seitz moves into the lead. Big smile there after a big vault. Getting set to go now, here is Zofia Kovac, the 2016 Olympian from Hungary, 2017 European all-around silver medalist, but was forced to miss the 2018 championships due to an abdominal tear, which took several weeks to heal.
Another double twist. Oh, keep on your feet. She was also the 2016 Gymnast of the Year in Hungary.
Well, we'll be back with the scores for Kovac and more gymnastics from the Stuttgart World Cup in a moment. And we welcome you back inside the Porsche Arena with a look at Zofia Kovac from Hungary, now awaiting her score after her effort on vault. 13.933 is the score. So Germany's Elisabeth Seitz still with the lead now as the competition rolls on. And home crowd building the energy once again for this next gymnast from Germany. Here is Kim Bui. And she brings plenty of experience to the event, a 2-time Olympian stepping in here as a replacement.
She was actually alternate in 2008. She has been around a long time, 30 years old, was 5th at the recent American Cup. Full twisting laid out Yurchenko, as we've seen earlier. Once again, maximum score 14.6 for this.
And Tim, you were at the American Cup where Kim Bui competed recently. What were your impressions of her condition at that point, early in the season?
Really good, actually. She's capable of doing more than this vault. I think probably just waiting till the season moves on a little bit. You know, she says people ask her all the time, why are you still doing this? You're 30 years old, you've been to 2 Olympics, you were an alternate at the other one. She says, I really like gymnastics, so why not continue with training and competing? She loves it.
It's something we've heard from the likes of Oksana Chusovitna, 43 years old, still in the top of the field. Mustafina as well. It's just that, why not score 13.533? And with numbers like that, indeed, why not? So the women's competition in Stuttgart rolls on now as we turn our attention to the young Canadian, Anna Padurairyu, 16 years old and the new world beam silver medalist from 2018, and she is here making her World Cup debut.
Shocked a lot of people with that silver medal, but she is an up-and-coming young lady. will do the same vault that we've seen, that full twisting laid out Yurchenko, and really just needs to survive this event. Her difficulty level is very low compared to the top gymnasts that are competing, but she has got some spectacular gymnastics yet to come. That was clean. It'll be a good solid score. I'm sure she is also training to do at least an extra half turn or another full turn, which would add almost a point, 8/10 to her starting score.
At 16, still plenty of room to grow, but definitely a promising talent from Canada. Made her senior debut at the Elite Canada meet in February of last year, where she wound up taking home the silver medal, but also a broken foot, 2 avulsion fractures in her left foot from an awkward vault landing, which she fell on, but still got the points needed to finish in the medals because she did land on her feet, 13.533.
But you know what she gets to say for the rest of her life? At a World Championships, she was better than this lady right here, Simone Biles, who came home with the bronze. Anna got the silver medal. Lui Ting from China won the gold. Simone was not at her best in that final.
4-time Olympic gold medalist.
And a ginormous vault as she gets some applause from her coach, Laurent Landy. She was trained prior to Rio by Amy Borman. Laurent and his wife, Cecile, have left the gym they were at and are now at World Olympic Gymnastics with Simone in Houston, Texas.
Simone's dominance may not have changed a whole lot, but just about everything else in her life has. In fact, she's spoken quite openly about the challenges of juggling training now with the responsibilities and the stress which can come along with great success, as she's had a lot more demand on her time, which means less time in the gym, she's admitted, but certainly still with the scores to lead the field by a wide margin.
Yeah, you just said struggling with it all. I don't see that. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Her standards, I think, are a little different than it is for everyone else. And now representing France in Stuttgart, here is Laurette Charpy. 17-year-old who finished 16th in the all-around at the most recent World Championships. The French team, which Laurette contributed to, also placed 5th at Worlds in 2018.
Another full twisting. Yurchenko, very nice, and we'll get a respectable score, but you know, when you go after Simone Biles doing that vault, it's a little disheartening. But believe it or not, Simone is actually capable of doing an even harder vault, which bears her name, adding an extra half turn to what she did here today.
Just a season debut for Biles, and now Laurette Charpy taking a seat there next to her. 2-time European medalist.
Little bit of hip angle here. You see she bends her hips, then actually as she's contacting the floor, shows a very nice position.
Laurette is from a family of gymnasts. Her mother was a coach. Both her older sisters were on the French national team as well. Something she says was really special to all of them, to be able to choose a sport that they could all excel at and train in together. But clearly not now time for Laurette to shine. 13.566. Simone Biles takes an early lead in Stuttgart. So we are one rotation down at this World Cup in Stuttgart. Here are the current standings, and from here on out, we will see the gymnasts go in the reverse order of these standings after each rotation. So that means coming up first now on uneven bars will be Kim Bui from Germany. Simone Biles with the lead. Now the 30-year-old with special ties to this city, went to university right here in Stuttgart, so presumably plenty comfortable here, and also on the uneven bars where she's finished just off the podium at the European Championships last year.
And she, along with her fellow teammates from Germany, are just really tremendous on bars. If I had to pick an event where they shine, it's certainly the uneven bars, and we'll see that from sights a little later as well. Lots of beautiful releases done in combination, just like that. She'll go back down. That's called a Bahadwaj. A pack salto with a full twist named after the great American gymnast Mohini. Really nice release skill. That's called a Ginger. Very nicely done. I mentioned the Ginger. It's actually a male gymnast from Germany, Eberhard Ginger, who way back when was a champion on the high bar. That terminology rolled over onto the women's side, which isn't always the case. Very nice routine, though, from Kim Bui.
Well, the crowd certainly approves. Kim has spent, I mentioned, a significant amount of time in this city, studied biological and chemical technology at the University of Stuttgart, now working on her master's thesis in technical biology about cancer immunotherapy. Incredibly impressive academic career as well. She spends about half of each day in a lab performing experiments, attempting to engineer a protein that can kill tumor cells, and then the other half of the day, she's in the gym.
Wow, that's impressive.
Exceptional individual with clearly plenty of talent to go around. And she has been in this game for some time, made her Olympic debut in 2012, went on to make it 2 in a row, qualifying for the 2016 games, where she was a member of that 6th place finishing German team. Now, can she make it 3 in a row?
Well, I would say there's really nothing standing in her way. As you mentioned, she competed at the American Cup and looked in great shape.
13.8, the number for Kim Bui now, as we look ahead to the rest of the gymnasts on uneven bars. Only a handful of Canadian women have won world medals in gymnastics, and Anna Padarariu did it at her first appearance at the World Championships. Now she looks to see what she can do at her first World Cup here in Stuttgart.
And this is where she should start her charge. Very difficult bar routine. Nice release right here. Looking for perfect handstands, and that one was. Connects down to the low bar. She does a lot of these inside skills. You see she scoots her feet in between her hands. Little shy on that overshoot to handstand, and that pirouette. That'll be a little bit damaging. Really bright future. She's going to be a great one. Already is.
Some veterans, some newcomers. The scores for Padarariu in a moment. Second rotation of this all-around World Cup underway now. Anna Padarariu from Canada scoring a 14.066 on the uneven bars. 2017 Canadian Gymnastics Junior Athlete of the Year, but clearly finding her stride in senior very quickly. And back to the young talent now from France, Laurette Charpy.
You know, as you mentioned, she has a family of gymnasts, and she's the younger one, and she used to watch her older sisters train, and she was so determined she'd go in later on and work and finally figure out how to do it. She says even if she was doing it wrong, it helped her.
Determination of a champion.
And France has been, watch this combo right here, very nicely done. France has been on fire as of late. Very improved on the international stage. Great handstand position there. And a stuck landing. Maybe as well as she can do on this event. That was gorgeous.
Well, her strength is on beam. And where she's a European bronze medalist, But it was on the uneven bars in training where she suffered a horrible injury last year, broke several bones in her face after a fall, required surgery to repair them. That was in August, but she was back for the World Championships, obviously has continued on from there.
Nice front flip done with her legs together. If you straddle, it's 1/10 less. And this is a great combination. Lots of points to be had there. Really thought this was a very nice executed routine. I'm hopeful that the judges don't get me going here, because one of my major pet peeves is someone can be just okay and they'll give it like a 7-8, 7-9 execution score, and someone will be like this right here, be spectacular and won't be rewarded for it.
You think there should be more discrepancy?
I do, absolutely.
Well, Sharpie, a two-time world competitor, Anna Padarariu with the lead in this rotation, and 13.933.
And there they go again, 8.133 in execution. It was better than that relative to Anna, that's for sure.
Tim, I don't mind when you get fired up. I kind of like it. Don't hold back.
All right, I'll
Brazil's
try.
Carolyn Pedro is up next on the uneven bars. Like several of the gymnasts competing here, she's really just starting to build her senior career internationally, making her senior debut in 2016.
Go right back down to the low bar. Little bit of leg separation, and possibly wanted to connect that, but that right there, very damaging. She was nowhere near the handstand at the conclusion of the pirouettes. Could have as much as a full half point deducted. Gorgeous release, though. Really far from the bar. Just the dismount. Oh boy, kind of pinged off the bar a little early, just a double back somersault. Good, but a little bit error prone.
The top gymnasts from the first rotation still to come. We'll be back. The world's best women's amateur golfers will come together at Augusta National Golf Club for a historic championship in April. Don't miss the inaugural Augusta National Women's Amateur Saturday, April 6th on NBC. And we head back inside the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart, Germany. Carolyn Pedro now from Brazil, receiving her scores on the uneven bars, 11.833. The Canadian Padarariu, with the current lead, scored a 14.066. And now the 18-year-old Hitomi Hadakeda making her final preparations for her routine on the uneven bars. Still early on in her senior career, made her international debut in 2017.
Nicely done. Those pirouetting elements, that one right there, 1/10 of a point off. We always sound like we're so critical, but this is exactly what the judges are doing to differentiate the athletes, or it's what they're supposed to do. She's a very nice bar worker, a little short on that handstand right there. Needs a little bit more time. Good landing though. Full twisting double somersault. Just needs a few different elements here and there to bump up her maximum potential score.
You mentioned earlier what she was able to put on display at the 2018 World Championships, Tim. She also helped the Japanese women to a 6th place finish there in the team event. But it was on this event at the 2018 NHK Trophy where she was able to take the gold.
And you know, that team championships, so 3 women's teams have already qualified for the Olympic Games by their placement at the 2018 Worlds. That's the United States, Russia, and China. At Worlds in just about 6 months in this same town of Stuttgart, the next 9 teams will earn a place to compete in Tokyo 2020. There are additional measures, as I'm sure many of you have been watching. The World Cup Individual Championships is a potential way to go. This will be the first time, though, only 4 gymnasts from each country will be part of the team competition.
So Hatakeda scores a 13.566, and as you mentioned, Tim, the Olympic qualification process being changed a little bit now in this quadrennial, so you can continue to follow along with both these all-around World Cups and the individual apparatus World Cups across the networks of NBC, and it has been very exciting to watch those specialists make their way on their path to Tokyo 2020 as well. Now Zofia Kovac from Hungary on the uneven bars.
Very nice start, great handstand position. And a release right here. Connected, little bit of leg separation, as you could see. Release a little bit close to the bar. They want to see you having to really reach out in that handstand right there. Significant deduction. Same basic double back dismount, but an overall good routine.
Final gymnasts on bars coming up, including the leader, Simone Biles. Welcome back inside the Porsche Arena. Zofia Kovac from Hungary now awaiting her scores from the uneven bars, 12.9. And we look ahead to the top contenders from the first rotation, including Aliya Mustafina from Russia, the 2-time and reigning Olympic gold medalist on this event. But she is in a new chapter of her life because her daughter, Aliya, came into the world in 2017, already in Aliya. I should fix that. Elisa, excuse me. It's close to Aliya, but Elisa, her daughter, she already has spent some time in the gym, but so far just watching her mom do what she does best, and she is at her best on this event.
She is the 2-time and reigning Olympic champion on the uneven bars. I think probably the greatest of all time on this event. Svetlana Horkina may have some words for me about that, but she's tremendous. Was not at her best, certainly in 2018, had to settle for 5th place. She used to do all these inside skills where she would scoot her feet in between her hands. She says after the baby, that has been so hard for her. Like right there, she would do that, which would add 1/10 of a point, but dominant routine. Really nicely done for her.
Aliya's coming off a bronze medal performance in the all-around at the Russian National Championships earlier this month. 24 years old. She said some questioned her return to the sport, but again, as we've talked about, she asked the question not why, but why not if it's something that brings you joy.
Gorgeous combination right there. Just floats in the air from high to low and then back up again. Nice release skill. But she knows she wants to add in these inside stalters. Instead of putting her feet on the bar, scoot them inside. It'll give her extra bonus 10s. It can happen a few different times in the routine, and I have little doubt that we'll see that someday soon from Aliya.
We talk about that comeback. And she said she does hope that her returning to competition can help change the attitudes about the length of a gymnastics career, saying why shouldn't we do possible things? And great gymnastics still obviously very possible for this young woman. And Mustafina with the top score currently now on the uneven bars, as we take a look once again at Elizabeth Seitz from Germany, and it is her time to shine as well. The reigning world bronze medalist on this event, nearly an Olympic medalist on this event as well, but ultimately finished 4th in Rio.
To her teammate, Sophie Schrader. That's hard to take, I'll tell you, but she's tremendous on this event. Lots of intricate combinations starting right here. Big release skills, one after another. And here we go. Nice combination. Oh, think she wanted to do possibly that connected, but maybe not. Sometimes they change their routines. Pretty good handstand, a little shy. And a nice dismount, but a pretty big step. Very good routine, though.
Lots of support here, and different athletes respond differently to performing in front of a home crowd, but Elizabeth Seitz seeming to take it in stride, use that energy from the audience to fuel her performance. And in Germany, no one could touch her at the national championships on this event, or the all-around for that matter. She is the reigning champ on the uneven bars.
Yeah, and I was so glad for her to finally get that medal after the dreaded 4th position at the Olympic Games. She's very dynamic. As we mentioned, she took the bronze. The gold went to Nina Derwaal from Belgium, who was phenomenal. And Simone Biles unveiling a new routine in Doha. Got the silver on bars. But huge height, gorgeous transitions.
Well, no doubt this is her specialty. She does have an element, the Seitz, named after her, which was ratified in 2011, and her skills were on display here in Stuttgart on this event last year as well, where she topped the field on this event. 14.233 is the number for Seitz, and so far she has been having a great competition. So here we go. Her season debut is underway. The Olympic champion Simone Biles now getting set to go on the uneven bars. And this is an event where her new coach, Laurent Landy, said he wanted to make it a priority in training, with it being her weakest event, although that's relative when it comes to Simone.
Yes. But winning that silver at Worlds was a huge accomplishment for her. And it sent shockwaves around the world. Simone's got another medal-worthy routine. Really, a lot of stuff going on here. And connect down, gorgeous. Very curious if she's gonna do her upgraded dismount. Capable of doing a double-double, but she does not. Only a full twist necessary today. And without question, that will not only keep her in first position, with the execution there, I would imagine that will distance her from the field even further.
Elizabeth Seitz, her closest competitor after that first rotation. And incredibly, you know, she did just win the national uneven bars title for the first time in her career at the most recent U.S. Championships. As we mentioned, focusing on this event in training, do you see improvements, Tim?
Oh, absolutely. It's a much more difficult routine. It's far better executed. You know, when Simone was first starting out, she thought she would be like the great American gymnast Alicia Sacramone, who only competed on 3 events, did not do bars, but she started to do so well nationally and internationally. She once told me she wanted to take a chainsaw to the uneven bars.
Well, Simone's admitted she's not expecting to be at 100% this early in the season, especially considering the additional demands of her time recently. But she says she feels like she's on track at this point, that she's in an okay place with work still to be done. And 14.300, she gives a nod and a shrug to that. And Simone Biles extends her lead, as you predicted, Tim, takes one step closer to the top of another podium. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Stuttgart World Cup. We have reached the halfway point. 2 rotations down now, 2 to go. And Simone Biles, your current leader, Elizabeth Seitz still behind her, with Aliyah Mustafina rounding out the top 3. Once again, we will see these gymnasts now go in reverse order. for the next rotation, which means Sofia Kovac is getting set to go now on beam. The two-time Hungarian world team member didn't qualify for any event finals in Rio, now on the road in hopes of becoming a two-time Olympian and still just 18 years old.
Nice mount, a lot more difficult than it may look. Leaping off of the board, doing a switch split leap. Oh boy, little bit of an adjustment after that side aerial. Nice combination. Series here. Beautiful, great. Form in the air, dead on. Very difficult. We're seeing a lot of that. It's been encouraged in the rules. Have to do a full turn, but to do a double turn, it is exponentially more difficult. Round off double top. Very clean exercise. She's actually having a great day, to be honest. Yes, she can be a little more precise in her work, but really doing a nice job.
And this is a great opportunity for these gymnasts to, again, become more and more comfortable competing in Stuttgart, looking ahead to the World Championships here later this year. And Sofia can do that thanks in part to her performance at the 2018 World Championships. Hungary will have a full team competing at the 2019 Worlds after placing 17th in the team event last year. Top 24 from last year's World Championships qualifying a full team for 2019.
And you know, what a learning experience for her. She's obviously been on the stage at major international events, but she is now rotating around and has trained with the greatest of all time, Simone Biles. And from a learning perspective, I guarantee she goes home and picks up the pace maybe a little bit. Hopefully she's not disillusioned by just how dominant Simone is, but
well, it's interesting too, you know, you hear athletes oftentimes when they talk about being able to take part in an event with icons like Simone Biles, they're also taking in how they handle themselves when they're not in competition, how they prepare, how they warm up, how they spend their time. There's a lot to be learned both on and off the podium.
It's a great point. And, you know, for example, like if you have a rough warm-up, which Simone sometimes does, maybe if it happens to a younger person, less experienced, they think it's the end of the world. She sees someone like Simone, the best of all time, struggle and then go up and knock it out of the park. Can be a great experience.
So Kovac scores a 13 even. Now Germany's Kim Bui getting set to go on beam. 7th place after 2 rotations. A 5-time world competitor, most recently finishing 8th in the team event at the 2018 World Championships.
Really tricky mount right here. She'll do a round off, half turn onto the board, and then back layout to 2 feet. If she were to put 1 foot down at a time, it's actually much easier, a lot more simple to stabilize. Oh boy. And for example, that one was not a layout, it was a layout step out, which she planned to do. Doesn't have as high a level of difficulty.
We saw Kim compete at the end of last year at the Cottbus Apparatus World Cup as well, where she made both the uneven bars and floor final. So somehow with her studies and everything else, she hasn't hit her limit yet of what she can successfully take on.
Very unique jump right there. 1 1/4 turn. There just have been a lot of those. Just slight little balance check. And every time she has a check, she gets a debit from her final score. Gainer salto in the laid out position, nice, but a few too many wobbles from Kim Bui.
So we will have the scores for Kim Bui in just a moment. The competition continues from Stuttgart when we return. Nathan Chen and the world's best figure skaters take to the ice in Japan at the 2019 World Figure Skating Championships, Saturday at 8 Eastern on NBC. But before we take you to the ice, we take you inside another arena in Stuttgart, the Porsche Arena, where the World Cup is taking place. Kim Bui from Germany scoring an 11.8 there on beam. And next up for Japan, here is Hitomi Hatakeda, currently tied for 5th after 2 rotations. Her only other World Cup event was in Birmingham last year, where she was 5th in the all-around.
Very popular mount with the new rules. Has a very nice look as a gymnast, just light on her feet, great lines, beautiful toes, knees. Talked about her dad. Her mom, also a gymnast, competed at the World University Games. And you talk to the men's Japanese team, and it's like every single one of them, their whole family has been involved in the sport of gymnastics forever. We talk about Simone being the best of all time. Well, many people consider Kohei Uchimura the GOAT of men's gymnastics. He has been injured as of late. Beautiful flip-flop layout step out.
Of course, for all Japanese gymnasts right now, the chance to represent their country at a home Olympic Games with Tokyo around the corner.
Really nice round off double pike. Doesn't have the highest maximum potential score, but a very nice routine and well executed, I thought, at least.
To talk about, Tim, these young gymnasts following in their parents' footsteps. You can relate to that a little bit. Your son, a gymnast as well. Was there ever any hesitation of getting him into the sport, especially with such an excellent career as you had?
Well, not by him. I really didn't encourage it, but he just loved it from the start. He's in his senior year at the University of Oklahoma, going for their 5th in a row NCAA team title. But beautiful work right here. Nice double pike somersault. Little low. You see her chest and head were bent over as she's reaching for the floor. She should be much more upright. Believe it or not, that'll be a significant deduction right there. That was a little bit worse than I thought it was. Small hop on the landing, but probably close to a half a point.
Silver medalist on the uneven bars at the 2018 All Japan Championships. And yes, indeed, you see where those scores took a hit. 12.9 for Hatakeda. As we shift gears now over to Laurette Charpy, the 2-time world competitor from France. And this is one of her stronger events, finishing just off the podium at the European Championships a few years ago on beam.
Another round off layout, but she does the step out, which is a little less difficult than doing it to 2 feet. Nice series there. Three times around, she'll do a double right here. This is very popular with the top beam workers. It doesn't look hard, but it is really challenging. Simone Biles will do those also in her routine the same way, a triple, then a double. Little bit hesitant, you know, when you do an acrobatic skill into a leap or leap to leap, what the judges are looking for is really no hesitation at all to go from one to the other. Very strong routine though. Double pike, nice job.
She came in tied in 5th in the overall standings coming into this rotation, and delivered today on beam. You know, Lorette, like many other gymnasts, can credit early ballet training in helping her develop that artistic component to what she does. How valuable do you think that is as a foundation for these gymnasts?
Oh, it's a huge advantage to have that, without doubt. You know, just the positions that you learn in ballet, being turned out all the time, very, very important on balance beam, especially important for floor as well, and for overall body tension, tightness, awareness.
Well, even a toe point can be of value.
Without question.
She's been in the gym since she was 2 years old, now 17, and so much ahead of her. A future which she hopes will include a trip to the Olympic Games in 2020.
Yeah, she stays healthy. I can't imagine she won't be on that team. France has really had some great results as of late. 5th in the team championships in 2018. They'll come back here to Stuttgart to try to earn their ticket to the Olympics, which I'm sure they'll do easily. They have a tremendous star, Melanie De Jesus de Santos, who is at home, one of the world's best gymnasts.
Those 2019 World Championships will take place in October. 13.666 the score for Sharpie.
Yeah, you really can't breathe wrong without getting a deduction on beam. You know, basically 2 points off. It's a cool amount here. A back dive to a handstand.
Canada's Anna Paderayru now. These last 2 events, she says, are her favorite. Reigning world silver medalist on this event, where she was able to lead Simone Biles, but neither could take over the top spot from China's Liu Tingting.
She does a very nice wolf turn 3 times around. Nice leap right there. It's all the little details that are so critical. When you do a leap, you need to show at least 180-degree split. Gorgeous combination. Love it. Every time you see it, there are a handful of gymnasts that do one layout step out of that aerial. She does 2, and it is stunning. The thing about her on balance beam is you can tell not only is she comfortable, she's confident, she's definitive in her emotions, she doesn't doubt herself, because that's where a lot of problems can happen. Double pike, a spectacular routine from Anna.
Reigning world silver medalist on her best event, and still at her best as well. We'll have her scores in a moment. Back inside the Porsche Arena with a look at Anna Paderayru, the reigning world silver medalist on beam, and smiles once again for that number, 14.333, and she was just gorgeous today.
Absolutely, and that is a ginormous and well-deserved number.
Russian Federation.
Russia's 12-time world medalist up next on beam, Aliya Mustafina. And surprisingly, she said in a recent interview that this was her favorite event, but that's because she said it's the easiest, certainly at least compared to the uneven bars, which she called emotionally and physically the toughest, and that you have to be in perfect shape for it. But it seems to me the beam poses plenty of challenges as well, so that may be a subjective assessment.
Oh my. And that is very uncharacteristic for Aliya. Of course, it'll be a full point off the skill she fell on. Beautiful Anodi element. Nice double turn, a little bit of a correction there, but good fight. I'm still reeling a little bit, surprised. And another pretty major balance check. It is not a common occurrence for, oh boy, and she's rattled, even the best, you know, it can happen. My guess is she is just fuming mad for coming off the balance beam. Needs to put it out of her head and finish the exercise. Dismount. Double tuck.
Mustafina now 24. She'll be 25 when the Tokyo Games roll around, which in gymnastics years is certainly beyond the time where you start to hear terms like veteran thrown around, but she said she started hearing that when she was about 20, which she's admitted didn't feel nice, even if it was meant to be a compliment. It's interesting, I think, how a moniker like that can affect athletes differently, whether they embrace it or they find it uncomfortable.
Well, in 2010, which is, what, nine years ago, she was world champion in the all-around and helped Team Russia earn a team championship there as well.
She was in third place coming into this rotation.
Really surprising, though. You know, she'll fall in training, in warm-ups, but, you know, when she raises her arms to do that routine, it is business, and she usually delivers.
Mentioned she's the recent bronze medalist in the all-around of the Russian national championships. Despite that result, however, she was not named to the Europeans team. Does that surprise you at all?
A little bit, but that could change. You never know. The Russian Federation oftentimes will make adjustments. I think she wants time to increase some of her skill level, to maybe the conditioning level as well.
11.6.
Yikes.
Not a number we are used to seeing for Aliya Mustafina.
Not at all. I can't even believe that.
So she will have some work to do now for the rest of the competition. Next up, the two-time Olympian from Germany, hoping to make it 3 next year. 8-time world competitor, so bringing plenty of experience to the table and plenty of experience placing among the best as well.
Nicely done. Once again, landing 2 feet at a time. More challenging than doing 1 foot at a time. Oh, wow. Very challenging, as I've said over and over again, that double turn. having a nice day so far. Dismount, front layout full, big step on the landing, but she survived beam, and that's always a good thing.
Two-time European medalist, silver in the all-around in 2011, a seasoned competitor, and in a great place in Stuttgart this week.
And loving competing at home. I read online early last week that this event was sold out. Not only competing at home in the place where the Worlds will happen in a short time, but getting to do it in front of a standing room only crowd. That was right on. Side flip, just really see her toes just cinch around that beam, holding on like that. Front full. Not a big fan of some of the dismounts that are being done now on balance beam. She's capable of doing a lot more than that, but the rules, those are the rules. She can do that and not be penalized.
Elizabeth Seitz having a great day today in Stuttgart. And if ever there was a time to make a magical moment at the World Championships, wouldn't it be something if she could have one of those days in Stuttgart in October? 12.466 is the number. No one can touch Padarariu just yet. But, of course, that may very well change coming up in just a moment. Simone Biles from the United States already with something to celebrate in Germany. She had her birthday earlier this week, turned 22, keeping it short and sweet, but mostly short. About 4'8", I believe she is.
She was actually in France training before this, and it was all over social media. They were ecstatic to have her come and grace the gym. So here are Simone's. Whoa! Wow! And she does that wolf turn faster than anybody in the world, and sometimes she loses a little bit of control because it's so powerful. Series right here, 2 layout step outs. And this is a different routine for Simone Biles. Actually capable of doing a front with a half or a Barani, which is one of her more challenging elements. Has not done that. Maybe she's putting it later in the routine, but my guess is she has taken it out.
She did say before this event that she was planning on downgrading some of her routines. Only a season debut for Biles.
And I'll tell you what, staying on that wolf turn, not coming off. Superhuman effort, as will be this. Full twisting double. Great. Coach Laurent.
You know, you talk about the power, the strength to make those rotations so fast. How about the power and strength to get it back under control?
Oh, yeah.
A different gymnast may have had a different outcome there.
Yeah, very likely. And she is her biggest critic. So watch this just so fast. In slow motion right here, she's spinning faster than the other gymnasts we have seen. But gorgeous, perfect 2 layout step outs. You see the toes right there. She has had a history of having problems with her feet, as many of the top gymnasts do on balance beam. Full twisting double somersault. One of the hardest dismounts being done in the world, but it's not just how hard it is, it's how well she does it.
She makes everything look so easy. But you know, her previous and longtime coach, Amy Borman, said in her words that early on, everything Simone did was ugly. Talking about how this wasn't at all second nature to her from the beginning, which I think is hard to believe seeing how far she's come, but that she couldn't stay on beam to save her life, which is pretty hard to imagine.
Well, Anna has come out on top of Simone in the past at the World Championships. Like I said, Simone opened the door with that big wobble. That could be historic for this young lady.
14.2, still with the lead. We will have the final rotation when we return to the Stuttgart World Cup. Final rotation for the women at the 2019 Stuttgart World Cup about to get underway, but here are the standings after 3, and Simone Biles with a nice cushion on top. Anna Paderariu from Canada making a big move up in the standings after that beautiful routine on beam. Elizabeth Seitz from Germany moving from 2nd down to 3rd. And of course, Aliyah Mustafina taking a big drop in the standings as well. So some ground to make up now as we take a look at Kim Bui from Germany, 2-time Olympian.
Big first tumbling run, double laid out somersault. Very solid exercise. Nicely done. Had some great power on that opening tumbling run. Double laid out somersault. Sure, this was a wonderful experience for Kim.
Kim Bui was 6th at the Apparatus World Cup in Cottbus on floor. Just missed the podium at the 2017 European Championships. We talked about her academic achievements. In addition to all of her results, she's also been recognized in Germany for her conduct and integrity in the sport with awards and acknowledgments like being named 2014 German Female Gymnast of the Year. So she will leave more of a mark than just placements when she makes the decision to move on from gymnastics. But for now, she's still loving it.
And this is huge right here. Nice position in the air, just a little shimmy on the landing. Another double somersault, this one in tucked position. Much easier when you bend your body like that. Two and a half twist and finds the floor with her feet and her eyes and rebounds right into a nice pike front somersault. I tell you what, she's really in tremendous condition. I would say a lot of times at the American Cup, it's one of the first major international events. The athletes look a little bit not prepared, not in shape. She looked great. She looked great here as well.
I would imagine with everything that she's accomplished, both in and out of the gym, that discipline is a primary characteristic for Kim Bui. 13.033, she's very happy with that. She was 8th after 3 rotations. So we will now wait to see how that score places her overall as we look ahead to the rest of this final rotation. She dealt with injury last year that set her off course. Now Zofia Kovac looks to continue her trajectory from the World Championships now in Stuttgart.
Hands down, major fall. Very difficult, double-double. Boy, way under-rotated on that last tumbling pass. You know, not the best way to finish for her, but she has a very bright future.
We'll have the scores for Zofia Kovac in a moment. Final rotation underway at the Stuttgart World Cup. Zofia Kovac from Hungary, the all-round European silver medalist in 2017, scores 11.333 after a disappointing floor routine. But as you mentioned, a very talented young gymnast. Aliyah Mustafina now, the two-time Olympic gold medalist, getting set to go on an event where she is an Olympic bronze medalist. She won that in 2012, looking to add some more hardware to her already prolific collection of medals.
And a comeback after the fall from balance beam. You know, she got some criticism about being a mom and doing gymnastics again. She said, "My life didn't end there." Well, very nice to see there. She had the stumble on the balance beam, but came back very strongly here. Actually, better tumbling and much better landings than I've seen from her on floor exercise as of late.
That mistake, or those mistakes rather, on balance beam, moving her down to 6th in the overall standings coming into this final rotation.
This was tremendous, though. Really nice and high, Arabian double front, and a great landing. Watch this, 4 times around. on that pirouetting skill. Doing more difficulty at the last World Championships. Only did 3 tumbling passes, has upgraded to the more traditional 4 tumbling runs. Needs to keep her legs together a little bit more on that.
You know, even though she's always so collected and focused in competition, she does bring a big personality to the sport. And she said she missed it while she was away after Rio. And I'd say the sport certainly missed her too.
Without question.
13.2 the score for Mustafina as she rounds out her experience in Stuttgart. A great leader for the Russian women's team. Olympic gymnastics in her blood. Now Hitomi Hatakeda from Japan continues to follow in her father's footsteps in the sport. And this event, an important stepping stone on the road to Tokyo, but where will she wind up? She was 5th coming into this final rotation.
Oh boy, a big bound backwards, both feet out of bounds. That'll be 3/10 in addition to the step. Well, a nice job on floor exercise, and today, another 18-year-old that has, in my opinion, a very bright future.
This is the time where she's building that resume, that international reputation. She's got that world team box already checked off.
But desperately wants to be like Dad and go to the Olympic Games. He did it in 1992. That spot in a little more than a year, 2020 in Tokyo. What a dream come true that would be.
And you know, when you look at the trajectory of these young gymnasts' career, their ages, sometimes you've just got that one window where your form is peaking, everything is aligned just right, and 4 years from them may be too late.
It has happened so many times, and I could give you a lot of examples, but they're typically heartbreaking, so I won't go into them. Nice combination right here. 2.5 twist. Just rebounds as soon as her toes hit the ground into that front flip. Double pike, nice in the air, but once again, I talked about this on balance beam. She lands with her chest way down on a lot of her landings, and she needs to improve on that.
Well, she is on course at this point with her development, with her potential to be that much greater by the time Tokyo rolls around. 12.3 is the score for Hatakeda.
You see that 0.3 deduction, that is for going out of bounds.
So she will take what she can from this experience, learn from it, move forward, but undoubtedly an even brighter future ahead of her, and we are excited to watch it. Final routine now for Laurette Charpy of France. She climbed from 76th in the all-around at the World Championships in 2017 to 16th just a year later. And then, in the wake of that horrible facial injury, her star still rising now. How far will it go in Stuttgart?
Couple of steps, 1/10 for 1 foot out of bounds. Well, a good routine for her. Very nice job all day long today.
Final 3 take to the floor, including the world and Olympic champion Simone Biles in a moment. This weekend, the world's best gymnasts are in Stuttgart and Baku, and we will continue to bring you coverage of that tonight and throughout this World Cup series. Here's where they will head next: Doha, Birmingham, and Tokyo. You see there from the United States who you can follow along with on their journey to Tokyo throughout these series in both the individual apparatus and all-around World Cup series. Laurette Charpy from France finishing up her competition in Stuttgart on floor with a 12.566. Just 3 gymnasts left to go now.
And the OCH is in first place. They are seeded for this, so the best or the ones that have higher scores coming in are yet to come.
Elizabeth Seitz now has been delighting the crowd all day. Can she do it once more in Stuttgart?
No better time to do it. Have a great competition across 4 events in your home country. Really nice job today from Elizabeth Seitz. Will she move ahead of Laurette Charpy? I would say that difficulty-wise and the way it was executed, it's going to be close.
The first world medalist on the uneven bars for a German woman since 1981. She's the reigning all-around silver medalist from this event, but this competition hasn't gotten any easier, so it will be another challenge this time around to make the medals, but boy, does she look comfortable out there.
Yeah, she does, and you know what? She actually had a bigger cushion than I thought she did over Lorette, and she is going to get a medal here in Stuttgart. Powerful gymnast in every way, Arabian double front. Great adjustment on that landing. This is a nice combination. She'll do a 1.5 twisting layout into a double back. Tough stuff and nicely executed.
And she does move into the lead, 13.2 on floor, 54.399 the overall score for Elizabeth Seitz. And what a successful day she has had in Stuttgart. Anna Paderariu of Canada in her final moments here. She was meant to make her World Cup debut in Stuttgart last year, but was sidelined by injury. Now trying to make the most of this debut, and she is in a great position.
Cute and sassy, and I loved it. A great performance here. All meet long has been tremendous, and boy, does she compliment someone like Ellie Black from Canada, Brooklyn Moores. This Canadian team has not yet qualified for the Olympic Games. I have zero doubt they will. They will qualify, actually. Double pike. I just personally, as a fan of the sport, I love it when they look like they are feeling the music, they are enjoying themselves. Some of the other gymnasts haven't displayed that to quite this level.
You can't see it at home, but I'm aggressively nodding in agreement with Tim. I had a smile on my face that entire routine.
Yeah, she doesn't just do it, you know, she does it with some pizzazz, and she dances with her heart as well as tumbles with her legs.
She was about 2 points back from Biles coming into this final rotation. She did outscore her on beam, and she takes over the lead with only Biles remaining, and you know what that means. A silver medal for Anna Paderariu.
Minimum silver medal.
You're absolutely right. So conditioned.
Yeah.
To presume the dominance, but she has defeated Biles before at a World Championships, given that was on beam. But a big lead now coming into this final rotation. 4-time world champion on floor and the reigning champion once again.
Huge difficulty start to finish. She had that 2-point lead, but also has about a 1.5 point difficulty edge on floor. was dangerously close. Looked to me like 1 foot might have just gone outside of the line. That on her own move. It's called a Biles. Oh, and that is definitely out of bounds right there. But a double, twisting double at the end. And hopefully this doesn't come to a shock to anybody. Simone Biles, she's won just about everything there is to win, and she's now won this World Cup, absolutely.
And you know what she called this event coming in? A warm-up. It's just a warm-up. Not feeling 100% just yet, but 100% positive that she will once again come away with a gold medal around her neck.
Yeah, and she's going to win this event. She won 3 of them. Had to settle for silver on balance beam. She's actually capable of doing that with 1 more twist. And this, her skill, double layout, last second does a half turn, does a leap out of it, and initially I thought that might have been out of bounds. I don't think so. Very difficult combo. That's the skill that only one that she's had any problem on today on the balance beam. But look at this at the end when she's exhausted. Double twisting, double somersault, 2 flips, 2 twists. She goes out of bounds. I could care less.
Simone, if all goes to plan, will be back here in Stuttgart in October for the World Championships, where there is history on the line for her. She will be making a run at winning the most women's gymnastics world medals ever, of all time. She tied it with 20 last year.
Unbelievable. The only way that that will not happen is if she can't walk come October.
Somehow I think she would still get the job done. What a treat it is for the rest of us to watch one of the most dominant athletes of our time continue to grow as the world watches. 14.9 on floor, and no doubt about it, Simone Biles once again will top the podium.
And in a league of her own, and doing stuff that's actually much easier than she's capable of. Look out, world, she's still there.
So here are the final standings, and Patarariu from Canada will take the silver medal. Elizabeth Seitz having one of her best days in front of a home crowd with the bronze, but Simone Biles, Olympic and world champion, now once again at top. That'll do it for our coverage from Stuttgart. Join us tonight for day 2 of the Apparatus World Cup from Baku, featuring American Jay Carey. That's at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Olympic Channel, home of Team USA. For Tim Daggett, I'm Tanith White, saying so long, everybody.